Hello guys, it's me, Stark, and I'm very happy today because I'm here to share you something very interesting. This is how a tournament preparation and draft actually works out. So if you ever get yourself involved in any kind of competition on Age of Empires or even a small tournament with your friends or any kind of strategies, preparing yourself beforehand and getting your strategy and draft strategy ready is very important. So for the 2v2 tournament that we did play and ended up winning last weekend, we actually prepared a very interesting way here. The first thing here is the self-assessment. You already need to know what kind of player you are. You need to know what are your strengths and what are the maps that will actually reflect your strength. For example, me and Brew are players that are better on the later stages of the game. I'm very good booming, and Brew is very good with monks, for example. Just to showcase some small examples. There are many other qualities that we both have and many other issues as well. But for example, I'm not so good in longer feudal age games. I'm not so comfortable if I have to play like an Arabia map and we are just going to play like with like 20, 30 scouts during the feudal age. I'm not good on army control and I'm not so good on with a single TC. Give me the chance of booming and I'm actually going to improve my game a lot. Brew is not so comfortable with very chaotic maps. So if you get to play like a nomad against Gabi and she starts to harassing, or if BL just make like a TC rush, that's actually something that he does not want. So we already started to understand which maps we are good at and which maps we are bad. And with that self-assessment, we ended up making a priority. Which are our best maps here and what we want to play versus Gabi and BL. And then we got to this conclusion here. We wanted to play Arena as our first pick. We had a very winning strategy here. So basically we had a winning strategy there. We had a strategy that no other team had and we could do that. Later for Jungle Rumble we had a unique winning strategy and also a counter to that. Because we started to use this strategy along the tournament and players started to steal the strategy from us. So we actually had something. Against on Z-Wall we also had a winning strategy that we did practice it here. So that's basically something that we learned from Paganini. We actually learned a strategy from Paganini and we actually thought that, well, no other team seems to have be using anything even close to that, so we kind of knew that. And then we had Sumatra, and on Sumatra we actually could do something very interesting here, which was basically splitting two 1v1s. Why is splitting two 1v1s good? If you have a team with, if we were playing like 2v2s and we had a member from the enemy team that was way too good for us in the 1v1, we would avoid that. But if there was another player that we could actually try to surpass somehow, we would be very confident. So for example, we were very confident with Brew on water. So in the 1v1, I think that Brew would actually win on water against both Gabi and BL. For this reason, we did choose Sumatra, because I would basically try to hold Gabi on land for him to win the water. If Gabi played on water, I would basically try to kill BL on land, or at least hold him until Brew eventually won. So we had strategies here, and obviously all of these maps had something to do here with our strengths there. So let's say another thing here. What are our strengths apart from the winning strategies there? We also had the strengths of, let me go there, the strengths from the players. We had the strengths of monk play from Brew, and my strength here from booming. So basically we worked around our strengths in every map. On these maps we could actually play Monk Rush and Boom. Arena, Monk Place and Boom. Jungle Rumble, Brew plays Monk Rush, I will go for the booming. Sumatra, no. Z-Wall, we can also go for Monk Rush and booming. So basically we understood which were our strengths and we played this on each one of the maps. And we could actually fit our strengths in those maps. So let's go towards the map draft. Okay, 1v1 water play. And booming. If Brew wins the water, I can actually fish boom. Which is a kind of booming as well. So basically we had this in mind. With that in mind, we started the draft. Our first pick, the first pick from Gabi's team was African Clearing, a map that they were using like every set, and they won like every single game of this with a very innovative strategy. Korean plus Turks with unique unit plus Cav archers. plus light cav. We did pick arena, our winning stretch. I'm gonna elaborate on this strategy later on. Then we did proceed to ban Nomad, a chaotic map that we did not want to play, and whenever we played it, either on practice games or on tournament, it didn't went so well for us. Then they also proceed to ban Jungle Rumble, which was on one of our picks, and that happens. They just banned Jungle Rumble, so all of our strategy here to Jungle Rumble goes to nothing. No problem, we had the arena. What are our other priorities? Both Sumatra and Z-Wall. Alright, let's just go there and keep drafting Sumatra and Z-Wall. They did draft other maps such as African Clearing, Chicken Arabia, and Valley of Kings, the ridge side, and that ended up allowing us to keep randomly banning maps until we got towards the last one, which was actually Golden Lakes. So the last one would be the first one, and this was the list of 7 maps that we have: Z-Wall, Sumatra, Arena, African Clearing, Chicken Arabia, Valley of Kings, and Golden Lakes. And of course, beforehand, you need to have a game plan discussed with your ally. I'm gonna just going to share you guys some of our game plan so that you guys understand what we talked. Look at this, man. It's crazy interesting. This is the game plan that me and Brew had. On Africa Clearing, we go for China or we ban China. And then we pick like Berber, Hindustani, Vietnamese or whatever. On Arabia, Jordan's good. And we can just go and play like full army against just exactly how we played versus Dogon and FH. Arena, this is the best strategy from the tournament so far. We haven't lost a single arena game using this thing. And it's basically going for Monk Rush and Light Cav and fighting for the relic. Why this is the best strategy? Because it has a double relic bonus that no other civilization composition can do. Golden Lakes, we go for back dock and go all-in army. Okay. Islands, 1 go sea, 1 go water, creating chaos. So Viking plus Wu with like a Wu guy landing everyone, doing a lot of shit, and the other guy doing other stuff. Jungle Rumble. And we basically had like 1 guy to Boom, 1 guy to Monk Rush. Exactly our game plan. Land Nomad, maybe Monk, maybe Berbers. We didn't had kind of a great plan for Land Nomad, so that was probably 1 ban. Nomad, we're terrible, let's ban it. If not, let's try something like Persians and Koreans. Socotra, we had some good strategies here, like the Shu Fast Castle, the Georgian Fast Castle. We would actually try to play anti-meta here there and benefit from the chaos on the map. On Sumatra we also had, so basically we had like a full gameplay for all the maps discussed before. And that's something that we talked, that's something that we will just remind ourselves during the days. And with that said, we just started here with our draft priorities. On Golden Lakes, let's go for the Civ draft once again. First map is Golden Lakes. How are we going to play that? On Golden Lakes, we want like 1 Cav civilization, 1 Archer civilization. Best cavalry civilizations here for Golden Lakes: Persian, Lithuanian, and Georgian. Why? Because all these can actually have a very good start going for the dock start as well, or anticipating their docks. They have the full technology to play cavalry, and they also have great bonus on their docks. Second civilization, the Archer Civ. Italians, Dravidians, and Shu were our favorite ones there. Italians because they do have cheaper fishing ships, their archers already receive 1 extra Pierce armor, and they are pretty decent for the 1TC map because you can actually go towards 1TC Imperial Age, since you also have small discounts on that, together with the discounts on your dock. So perfect for an hybrid map where you have to play archers. Arena, our second map here. Well, our strategy was pretty simple, guys. Burgundian relics do generate food in addition to gold. Aztec relics do generate 33% extra resources. So every arena game from this tournament, go there and re-watch. We had some crazy stats like 5k gold generated from relics and the same amount of food. That's what no one is actually seeing. So in this arena version there were several relics and we just abused that, going for this composition of Burgundian and Aztec, and we won every game, not because we won the fights in the center, not because we were controlling the map, not because Monk and Light Cav is the best composition, but because we did focus on getting the relics. What if Burgundians get banned or picked? Well, we would just try something like Cumans, Khmer, or Poles and try to control the map with cavalry, while also booming. what would we do if the Aztecs get banned? We would try to play with Monk Rush as well, but with a different civilization, such as Bengali, Burmese, Italians, Malay. There are other replacements. Of course, neither of those would still be good as these two, so we were very lucky that no one banned our Civs. Those guys just gave us the map or just respected our draft so much. African clearing, we had a clear start. We had a clear strategy here. Chinese for the good start. Berber to be a good counter to the light cavalry plus wagon. Berber have access to the camel archer, which will mostly be able to counter civilizations such as Spanish, Koreans with their war wagons, other cav archer civs such as the Huns, and they also give access to the janitors. So this was our plan, to use the janitors to counter as well. And then of course, if everything goes wrong here, we have a lot of other civilizations that could actually be quite good here, like the Huns, like the Vietnamese, like the Hindustani and like the Gurjaras. Why Hindustanis and Gurjaras? Because in case Berbers got banned or picked, we still need some kind of camel that was strong enough to justify fighting against the Wagons and win fights against both the Turk and the Korean, which was exactly what we expected. On Sumatra, we had one civilization to play on land. We wanted a civilization with a good economical bonuses, so Japanese, Malay, Wu, Lithuanians, and then we also wish the civilization to have a good power spike on early feudal age to pressure the opponent. All of these civilizations have like great men-at-arms or good scout openings. And then we needed a very strong water civilization, such as Dravidian, Vikings, Koreans, and we already had decided that I would play land, Brew would play water, so we already had decided. This is my list. This is bro list. And basically we drafted thinking about that. Let's think about Arabia. Okay, we need a cavalry civilization. We make a small rank. Which are the best cavalry civilizations for this specific version of Arabia? Georgian, Khmer, Magyars. About archers, Britons can be good, Ethiopians are always insane, Shu are good, Vietnamese are good. What about Z-Wall? Well, we did practice a strategy of, instead of going fast castle, trying to crack open the wall during the feudal age and hurting or at least even killing at least one player. And the strategy was pretty cool here. Khmer light cav fast castle with like a 21 or 22 plus 0 fast castle, very crazy timing, and the Saracen and or even a Briton if necessary to crack open the wall and cut it. Using, of course, the Saracen bonus was a huge part of that. So we did prioritize those civilizations because they could actually be very good. Both Saracen and Khmer were necessary. So some strategies were very specific, but and we had like replacements. But this one, for example, we didn't even thought about replacements. If we got Z-Wall and we have no Khmer and no Saracen, that things would not be good for us. We could still go for like a fast castle with other civilization, like Lithuanian, to go light cavalry, but we still needed like the Saracen to crack them up. In the Valley of Kings, we had a very open and wild variety of civilizations, but we did had one clear strategy. We need one guy playing feudal age with skirmishers to try and gain some map and control things, and the other guy just goes fast castle with a very good unique unit to then join the skirmishers into the fights. Could be like the Wei, could be like the Lithuanian, could be like the Burmese. So this is the plan. We had like a clear plan and we go for it. With this plan in mind, let's go for the draft. These guys is the draft. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, but since we were playing monks, there was also a civilization ban, and we did choose to ban here the Teutons. Why? Because one of the worst things for us playing with a monk rush would be forced to fight a Teuton. So imagine fighting like a Teuton plus Malay. For this reason, we also decided to boost our strategy for both Z-Wall, Jungle Rumble, and Arena by banning the Teutons, the anti-monk civilization. If monks are Brew biggest strength, we did want to ban the Teuton as part of our strategy. With that said, the draft started, and there is a nightmare, guys, because we just get to play against, we just need to deal with random bans. Incas could not be chosen, neither did the Celts, the Shu, the Jordans, the Berbers, and the Wei. And this was very bad because if you guys go back to our draft, you are going to see that Georgians, Berbers, and Wei were all civilizations that we were considering. So we did expect it to play with the Georgians, so our plan is going down the drain. We did expect to play with the Wei, our plan is going down the drain, and we did expect it playing with the, what's the other one that got banned? I even forgot. The Berbers. So our plan is going to the drain. For this reason, we already had to think about the replacements. If Georgian is no more, let's try Khmer or Magyar for Arabia. If Wei is no more, let's go for Lithuanian or Burmese. If the Berber is no more, let's already start considering the Hindustanis or the Gurjaras here as the priority to be able to counter the wagons from Gabi and BEL. So for this reason, we just follow up the draft, but on the random buns, we already had 3 strategies frustrated, and that's very common, as something similar might have happened to them. Perhaps they had a very good strategy using the shoe. I guess we never know. So then we started to pick the civilizations, and of course we did respect our game plan. We did pick here, since Chinese was not banned, we did pick Chinese for the African clearing map and also Khmer for the other map. So there we go, we do have the Chinese that has the best start on Africa clearing, and we do have the Khmer, which can be good for both our plan on Z-Wall, and it can also be good if we try to play on the Arabia here with a replacement for the Georgian. With that said, we also realized that they did pick Koreans and Portuguese, so we already knew from the tournament that they were consistently using Koreans on African clearing and Portuguese on Z-Wall, so we already knew what to expect. Biel is an excellent player using unique units, and those were his unique civilizations. Going for the ban, we did ban the Teutons, and they did proceed to ban a civilization. If they did ban something like Burgundians or Aztecs, they would already nerf us pretty badly, but instead they did ban the Bohemians that, to be very honest, we expected someone to ban because of the maps we picked. Arena, Jungle Rumble, Z-Wall. Bohemians can be like one of the best civilizations in all these maps, so we already planned it without even taking that into account, and they gladly banned that for us. With that said, we proceed to pick civilizations such as the Dravidians, part of our water plan, so we're basically picking civilizations here to fulfill the draft here according to the situation. And of course we were also paying attention on their picks, because this would indicate how they did plan to use. Sometimes we wouldn't be sure about why are they picking Spanish. We didn't know exactly what that was for, but that's not a big problem as long as we do follow our plan. They did pick the Britons, so we did not have the Britons. We did pick the Persians. So basically guys, we were focusing here on a lot of civilizations and completing the perfect map order there. Burgundians, and there we go. We're just drafting one after another and completing our plan as close as possible to the original version. Italians, right here we already knew, okay, we have like our top 1 priority for Golden Lakes. This should be a great start of the series for us because everything's going according to plan. Then we had the Lithuanian, which could actually be used here on Sumatra, which could also be used here on the last map. So there are some civilizations that, as you guys can see, can actually show up on multiple maps. So these civilizations should also be a priority. For example, they did pick the Briton, so part of our strategy was already going down the drain there, but not exactly. We still had some options. For example, we did have like Ethiopians and Saracens, so we also had some more Archer civilizations. So basically we keep filling the holes and of course watching out for their strategies. We were already saying, hey, next round let's pick the Magyar, and they just picked the Magyar. So this is terrible. We have no Jordan. In Arabia, this was one of our biggest frustration. There's no Jordan because it got banned. There's like no Khmer because we're already decided to use it on another map, and there's no Magyar. For this reason, we ended up going for a civilization that was not initially on our plan, and this civilization is the Romans. We also got the Hindustanis to get ready for this, so basically right here we just got the Hindustanis as a replacement, and this is exactly how the draft works, and this is exactly how do you plan for tournaments. We did got like the Japanese to play here, so some things were going according to plan, some other were like replacement. And that's how the game exactly goes. In the end, we ended up having most of our civilizations. As you can see, we did complete here Aztecs and Romans. Aztecs to fill up the hole that we had here to play in the arena, and Romans to play on Arabia. Right there, we just threw out our game and we said, okay, Romans can still play cavalry. It's not as good as the other options, but it still can make knights quite well, leaving only a Valley of Kings open for us to draft. Of course, we still get some civilization like Vietnamese there, which was quite good good for Valley of Kings. So in the end, we did have like Vietnamese. Why? Because the idea here was to make skirmishers. And we still drafted 2 extra civs. Our extra civilizations there were already thinking about perhaps changing something mid-game, and we did pick Bengalis and Gurjaras. We could actually fit Bengalis in many maps because they are very flexible civilization, and we could actually even choose to go for like double camo composition and play like Gurjaras plus Chinese or Gurjaras plus Hindustanis. So that was basically the draft. With that said, guys, we have a clear plan. We know exactly what we want to do on each map. So from this point on, it's just going for the execution. So let's talk about execution in the next video.